What are you doing with your blank pages? I'm not talking about the book that you are writing, but the pages of your life. What if I told you that the blank pages may actually be the most important pages of your story? Hi, my name is Melissa Farndale and I am mum of two, married to Clinton for 14 years, and I'm a soon-to-be published author with Messenger Books. My book is titled Untangled, and it is my story of becoming untangled from the lies that kept me from my true identity and purpose. If you would like a little sneak peek into my story, you are welcome to download a free ebook from melissafarndale.com. I have always been an open book, willing to share my story, especially if I knew that it could help someone. But as I've been getting to the end of the publishing process and people are asking more about my book, I have started to become slightly apprehensive. Some days I worry that I maybe have shared a little bit too much. Other days I feel like maybe I have shared not enough. But the truth is that we all have those blank pages in our lives, those pages that nobody gets to read and nobody gets to see. And those are the blank pages I am talking about today. It was comforting to me to recognize and realize that Jesus also had some blank pages in his life story. Between the age of 12, where his parents found him in the temple about his father's business, to where he starts his ministry being baptized at the age of 30, there are 18 years worth of blank pages. And to fill in that big gap, we are left with this single verse in Luke 2. Yes, I think it's Luke 2:52. Yeah. It says, "And Jesus increased in wisdom and stature and in favor with God and man." It may only be one verse, but to me, it's so incredibly profound. First of all, the idea that Jesus had to grow, that he increased. In those blank pages of his life were growth. How often do we disregard the seemingly insignificant days of our lives, those days that nobody sees, as days that don't really matter? You know, as a creative person, I love to see the end product of the dream or the vision that I have in my heart, whether it's a painting or a book or a song or whatever it is that you're creating, from conception to actually seeing the manifestation of that product. You know, I think we often miss all the opportunities of the in-betweens, those empty spaces, those blank pages. So it says there that Jesus grew in three things. It says that he grew in wisdom and in stature and in favor. So I had a look in my Strong's Light Concordance app on my phone, and I looked up the word wisdom, and it blew me away. Just listen to this. So the word is Sophia in the Greek. And wow, it says the very knowledge of things human and divine, the science of learning, the act of interpreting dreams and giving the sagest advice, the intelligence evidenced in discovering the meaning of some mysterious number or vision, the skill of management of affairs, the devout and proper prudence in intercourse with men who are not disciples of Christ, skill and assertion in imparting Christian truth, the knowledge and practice of requisites for godly and upright living. Just wow, there's so much that Jesus had to learn. And I think about all the things that we have to learn as messengers. You know, when I signed up to the Unlocking Your Book training and mentoring, I came with the idea that I'm learning to write a book. But I've actually learned so much more than just writing a book. I've learned about stewarding a message, that it's not just about getting my book published, but it's about being that message, even in all those in-between places where the actual product isn't there yet. And I'm blown away by all the things that Jesus had to learn. So, you know, we have to be open to learn a few things in those blank pages of our life. The second thing he grew in was stature. And when I looked it up, it said growing older, growing taller, but also being more mature, growing in maturity. And I think I think a lot of us know that just because you're growing up doesn't always mean that you're mature, right? So I think it's important to know that in those moments where we are growing, that we have opportunities to also mature as we let patience have its perfect work in us. And I just want to read this verse from James. It says, allow patience to have a perfect work so that you can mature and that you can be complete, lacking nothing. That is so awesome. You know, God doesn't waste the blank pages of our lives. He uses them to build something in us, to bring us to maturity so that we don't lack anything. I just thought that is so awesome. And thirdly, he grew in favor. When I looked up the word favor, it actually mentioned grace. And I, again, was just fascinated by the fact that we can grow in grace and favor, that it is not static, that it increases. The grace and the favor of God on our life can increase. And I also loved what the concordance said. It said, grace that which affords joy, pleasure, delight, sweetness, charm, loveliness, and grace of speech. I need that so much. Grace of speech. Who wouldn't want more grace of speech? So good. But what I love most was this line. It said, especially the divine influence upon the heart and its reflection in the life. It's in the moments that nobody gets to read about, in the moments of dwelling in the grace and in the favor of God, where God starts to write on the pages of our heart. And it's in that divine influence that we experience with Him that gets reflected in the pages that we write. So, dear messengers, I want to pray for you today. I pray that you will just have the most wonderful time in the blank pages of your life. I pray that you will use those blank pages to grow in wisdom, in stature, and in favor. I declare over you that God's divine influence upon your heart will be reflected in the pages of every single book you write and publish. God bless you. Have a wonderful weekend and see you soon. Bye.